Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day to start things off. The first bank to officially adopt Ripple's XRP based cross-border payment solution known as XRapid says that it's just getting started. EuroXM's bank's head of compliance and operations, his name is Graham Bright, told Blocks Live TV that the company is exploring how it can use Ripple's suite of payment technologies to power contracts for instruments like bonds and derivatives. He said, "Where we're also moving this from a fintech point of view is how we can take our journey even further forward with Ripple, not just from the payment perspective, not just from the use of the digital asset, but perhaps we can also, and that's where we're investigating at the moment, is how we can embed instructions for bonds, derivatives, foreign exchange inside a Ripple product or message so that you can actually put the whole of the contract point from the particular trade or buy or sell of a particular commodity inside of a Ripple message as well." My goodness. So it not only carries a payment instruction, but also the underlying contracts detail as well. Now, if we could do that, that means the whole of the ecosystem of trade would be based on 90 days and hoping somebody pays at the end of time. What? But have a defined, absolute, exact way of working, tracking, transparency, immutability of the data, which is held for every transaction. Because to be fair, trade finance has in the past had a reputation of a lot of fraud going on. There are fake documents, there are bills of lading, there's a release of goods, there are criminals that are trying to sabotage trade all the time. And what we're trying to do is ensure that every buyer is safe, every seller is safe, and every institution is part of the ecosystem and able to understand where the payment is, where their goods are, how their goods are being put together, and all the matching documents that need to go within that environment. First of all, end quote. Incredibly verbose. That was the most intense quote I think I've ever read in my entire life. Bright says EuroXM also plans to launch one of the world's first bank-backed cryptocurrency exchanges, which will let users buy and sell XRP and other crypto assets. It will follow in the footsteps of SBI Holdings VC Trade in Japan. He said, "We are very excited. We are very advanced in the technology that we use, and we're very anxious to ensure that we're ahead of the game to the extent that we are also launching or announcing a crypto exchange in the coming months." I refuse to scroll even further down. I fear him having said even more than he already did over here. Kind of interesting. We heard about EuroXM. It had to be sometime in 2018. I don't remember this being a 2019 story. Interesting to note the additional movements in the XRP XRapid space that we're now getting, I assume because prices have been moving higher, and also maybe because of the price movements that we just had about a day or two ago. It seems to be that we're now getting a lot more positive news across the cryptocurrency space for all of the other coins. I mean, and it wasn't like we had negative news before, but I mean, it's more as like utility and usage of digital currencies and assets and exactly which product people were going to be using. So we knew from before that EuroXM was planning on using XRapid, but we did not know, which is what they just announced, that they're trying to use Ripple, I assume this has to do with the XRP blockchain, because EuroXM Bank and SBI have they are diehard fans of the Ripple blockchain and also the XRP token. So now they're going to try and put bonds and derivatives on top of this as well, which I assume is a bit of an expansion of the actual usage of it. A lot of the coins, if you haven't noticed, over the last year or so, have been trying to move a bit further away from just, hey, I can send payments and stuff back and forth. People realize that the blockchains themselves are actually useful, and being able to store information or have information as things that people can read on top of them as well. Because, I mean, it's cool and all that other stuff that, you know, Bitcoin can send value back and forth. You can swap value back and forth with XRP. But being able to say, hey, on top of this as well, we can also do this, and we can write this on top of it. You can also swap this back and forth, and this can also be based in XRP, and this can be based on so-and-so, and so you can write your laws and so on top of this blockchain. It makes your network cooler and more legitimate. But yeah, let's move on. Tying directly into this, Coin One, hailed in Asia as one of the continent's big four cryptocurrency exchanges, is set to join the Ripple family. Announced on the 17th of June, the exchange performs cross-banking services while implementing Ripple's X-Current solution in its operations. The partnership between the San Francisco-based payment giant known as Ripple and Japan's SBI Holdings called SBI Ripple Asia will see the participation of Coin One, with a growing number of cross-border transactions emanating from the southern half of the Korean peninsula. Several companies have been looking to capitalize Coin1's addition to the Ripple network is the first such inclusion of a South Korean cryptocurrency exchange. Speaking about the partnership, CEO of Coin1, Shin Won-hee, told K Banker, is that really his name? K Banker? Oh, okay, no. it's a news outlet. I was like, that's someone's name. Anyway, a Korean media outlet that we hope that the cooperation between Coin1 and SBI Ripple Asia will provide and allow us to integrate a range of financial services that make use of the blockchain technology. Coin1's official Twitter also had this information about Ripple. So I'm waiting for us to kind of hear more information about this little thing right here. SBI Holdings, or SBI Ripple Asia, is a partner of Ripple, if you didn't get that from the name right here. The head of the bank, I think we spoke about that like a couple seconds ago, is this guy named Yoshitaka Katao, who's obsessed with Ripple and XRP, and has announced before that his bank, if I'm not mistaken, was also going to be implementing XRapid/XRP in his banking system as well. So I think the original idea, or I'm pretty sure the same idea, is the onboarding of other banks and institutions who will also be using the XRP token, whether that be through XRapid or XCurrent. So like I said, I'm interested to, like, we're getting huge, I want to say, drops of news, but nothing is very, like, explicit or concrete as to exactly what is going to be used behind the scenes. There are a lot of people speculating right now with the stuff that's happening between Ripple and XRP and all the other things that they have amongst them, as to who's going to be joining and who's going to be using and who's going to be so and so. I try not to speculate as much. I try to just stick to more official information. It's clear that something is definitely happening behind the scenes. Even then, we still haven't heard from Changpeng Zhao, the head of Binance. He announced a couple of months ago, I think, that they were going to integrate XRapid, but there's since been no real news on that. Maybe there's some other infrastructure stuff, or maybe it has to do with the decentralized exchange. Maybe it's a whole bunch of other stuff that they're just trying to implement in general. Anyway, let's move on. This is never not going to be in the news, so yeah. The U.S. Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs will hold a hearing on the 16th of July regarding Facebook's new cryptocurrency known as Libra. The hearing, examining Facebook's proposed digital currency and data privacy considerations, comes in the wake of calls from members of Congress to more closely examine Libra and its potential risks. There have even been calls to halt work on the project until hearings are held. In light of those comments, a Facebook representative said that we look forward to responding to lawmakers' questions as this process moves forward. The 16th July meeting will be held at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is New York, Florida time. And as of yet, no confirmation or information about witnesses has been released. The hearing will be broadcast to the public. That's going to be great. I can't wait till that happens. It was the banking committee that wrote an open letter to Facebook last month about seeking answers about the work on Libra, including how it works and to what extent the social media giant has sought input from regulators and market watchdogs. No one's really happy about this on any side. The people from Facebook, I don't remember which podcast it was. I couldn't even bring myself to listen to it. There was a podcast yesterday where somebody from Facebook had someone on a podcast talking about the positive aspects of Libra, how they wouldn't be tracking people, how it was going to be amazing, and how it was something that the world needed right now. Like I said, couldn't even bring myself to listen to it. There's been a huge amount of backlash over the last couple of days. The next story also ties directly into that as well. No one except for Facebook seems to be happy about this. I've seen a couple of people talking about they want to buy the Libra coin or use the Libra coin. I mean, you just can't educate everyone. Tying directly into the story that we just spoke about right here, with the recent unveiling of Facebook's Libra cryptocurrency raising regulatory questions, France is forming a task force with a group of 7, or the G7 nations, to examine the issues. Reuters wrote on Friday that the governor of the French central bank, François Villeroy de Gallo, indicated that the crypto task force would be headed by European Central Bank board members Benoit Guru, and would look at how cryptocurrencies are regulated to avoid money laundering and other problems. It's incredible how none of the other cryptocurrencies before elicited any type of response like this, but Facebook announcing that they were going to list a stablecoin has caused all these banking corporations, institutions, family, whatever you kind of want to call them, to completely freak out. The move has likely been in the cards, with France's finance minister Bruno Le Maire on Tuesday expressing concerns that Libra might grow to replace traditional currencies, which is kind of the point of it, and calling for the G7 central bank governors to prepare a report on Facebook's project for their July meeting. He said it is out of the question that Libra would be allowed to become a sovereign currency. Le Maire said at the time, "It can't and it must not happen." How great of a quote is that? I mean, I don't care for Facebook's coin, token, whatever you kind of want to call it, that they're launching. But it's nice. I mean, if nothing else, it's nice to see that it's getting a response from the world leaders. It's really insane that they kind of got it all at once, that what Facebook is trying to do. I have a strange feeling that Facebook is... I feel like money will become a factor in this entire situation, as far as if countries or governments are afraid. I feel like if they're given a slice of the pie, they may change their tune, or some money's going to be involved in some sort of way that I haven't really been able to kind of grasp in my own mind yet. But it's fairly certain. I think that they just want a guarantee that they'll be able to track transactions and stuff like that. But it feels like Facebook has been forming this for quite a long amount of time. And I think that this is going to, I mean, it has been expected for quite a long amount of time within the cryptocurrency space, even the last 6-7 years, that large centralized governmental banking institutions would eventually feel the wrath of crypto. And I think a lot of people thought that it would be Bitcoin that would do the wrathing, but it seems that it was a company that was growing under our noses the entire time, who planned on announcing their own digital something that is going to be pegged, we assume, 1-to-1 to the US dollar at this point, as far as like a price point. I assume they're not going to be tying it to the Venezuelan or the Zimbabwe anything. But should this take off, it's going to be, if they're freaking out now, imagine when this actually launches. There are people calling for this to not even be launched at all, for the entire thing to be torn apart, or for it to not be as large as it would like to be. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know. It's supposed to launch in 2020. I'm not feeling that it's going to launch early 2020 or even by the summer. It feels like there's going to be two things are going to happen. It's either going to be too much backlash that they're going to have to postpone it for like a while, or money will be thrown at someone or something, and it'll accelerate their release of the actual thing. In today's comments, Vilroy said France aims to be open to innovation but firm on regulation. No, that's, I mean, come on, stop lying. The whole point is that they understand that they have taken too long. They took years even trying to figure out what Bitcoin was, because to them it was so abstract and so weird that it made no sense. Why would something that someone created, that a couple 3, 4, 5 million people around the world are using, why would that overthrow what we have in place? The public loves us. They love everything that we do. And even besides the whole they love us thing, I'm pretty sure this was spoken in some sort of meeting somewhere. I can feel it in my bones. We own the world. Who cares? Anything that we tell them to do, they have to do. So it's kind of a two-sided thing. You have Facebook gaining massive amounts of popularity, rising in price dramatically the last couple of, not even weeks, months, days. It's been happening since the beginning of this year. Now you also have this other mega entity coming from the other side talking about, we're also going to try, or rather, they're going to... A lot of banks won't do very well if Facebook's coin does actually end up launching. We had the information yesterday how large of a currency that Bitcoin alone actually is. I assume if they get enough backing, Facebook's coin is probably going to become one of the largest monetary money bank policies. I don't even know what word I'm looking for. In the entire world. Currencies. There we go. In the entire world as well, which is going to scare a lot of other countries, because can you imagine having power for so long and then you think that nothing else can stop you, and then lo and behold, somebody creates something in a, I assume, a basement 10 years ago, and then now on we've only had news about Facebook coin since like Tuesday or Wednesday, and every single country is completely freaking out. Now imagine if this thing actually ends up launching, how much of a campaign they're going to try and launch just to get people to stop using it. Very fascinating. Let's move on. Next up, blockchain and crypto enthusiast William Shatner is using his blockchain-based initiatives, Ethereum and Third Millennium, to capture an object's detailed history. In a new Forbes report, Shatner, aka Captain James T. Kirk of Star Trek, explained his vision of how to use the Ethereum blockchain and track memorabilia and a variety of objects, giving each a singular story and a unique asset, passport, and real value. He said, "I recognize the prospect of the future, and that is identifying things using blockchain. We will authenticate any work of art. Actually, that limits us. We can't authenticate anything and register it, and then it becomes unassailable." So I mean, while not the most exciting news story or the thing that we've ever spoken about on this channel, this is just another thing that ties directly into the same exact we're about to talk about in a couple of seconds, and what we've spoken about before. Ethereum, oddly enough, maybe not oddly enough, is leading the charge when it comes to people building on top of it and trying to be able to everything, whatever you can kind of think of. We have finally reached that moment where crypto assets are coming into their own. They're maturing very rapidly, and Ethereum is, regardless of the slowness of the current network, is being bet on very heavily, and so many people are building things on top of it. This is not like the 8th story that we've had in the last 7 days about companies and institutions or even celebrities building things on top of Ethereum. Also ties directly into it. New York-based insurance company known as MetLife is planning to revamp life insurance claims process. The life insurance claims process by utilizing Ethereum's blockchain. MetLife Singapore-based incubator known as Lumen Lab is partnering with Singapore Press Holdings, a media group, and insurance cooperative NTUC Income to release a smart contract platform built on Ethereum called LifeChain. MetLife has previously used blockchain technology and public ledger for a mobile app called Vitana, which was supported by Ethereum to pay out claims to expectant mothers who contracted diabetes. Oh my gosh. The core smart contract platform that is used in LifeChain will be very closely related to what was built in Vitana, the company's first successful pilot. In an interview with Forbes, Zia Zaman, CEO or CIO of MetLife Asia, what was that? Something broke in the background. And CEO of Lumen Lab said, "The future of distributed ledger technology and life insurance will somewhat depend on public sector involvement. Those jurisdictions and governments that are more innovative will see citizens and policyholders in the jurisdictions benefit from less friction, more fulfilled payments, and a general overall improved experience." End quote. So, like I said, you know, life insurance might not be the most exciting thing, but MetLife is huge. For those of you who've never been to the States, MetLife is quite gigantic. And the fact that they're also announcing publicly that they're going to be building on top of the Ethereum blockchain, which I think is probably in some way coordinated, because we have had news that within the next, 6 months? Even less than that. 6 months, somewhere around that time frame, Ethereum 2.0 will be released and implemented and launched and blah, 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 blah. So this is why I assume we're seeing a lot more Ethereum news, because the upgrades are probably finished and or being tested diligently on a test net. And yeah, all that's kind of there is to say about that. Let's move on. Or here's the actual Forbes article about the actual usage of Ethereum by MetLife. To kind of finish things off, the Bitcoin hash rate, the total computing power of the Bitcoin network, reached new all-time highs this week. Data from the monitoring resource blockchain.com confirmed on the 19th of June, as the Bitcoin price set a new record above $9,000. You can tell this is a little old. Hash rate, which can be taken as a measure of how much interest there is in Bitcoin mining, shot higher than ever before from Wednesday this week, the most recent day for which data is available. Bitcoin's hash rate had reached 65.19 trillion hashes per second. Here's the actual chart right here. Look how insane that is. You can tell this is the dip of 2018 and exactly how much it has shot up since then. The activity did not go unnoticed, with hash rate constantly gaining every day throughout this week. Hash rate, more often than not, leads price. Kaiser report host and major Bitcoin bull Max Kaiser wrote on Twitter in related comments on Thursday. There's something, this is something not even Bitcoin's most ardent supporters understand. It is the heart of the incentive scheme. It's Satoshi's ability to hack humans to create gold 2.0. If this is where the hash rate is right now, just imagine when Bitcoin's price goes up a lot higher and a lot of people are more desperate to be able to obtain more Bitcoin through mining. I've seen a lot of things on YouTube as well. I don't know if they've been popping up for everyone else. As far as like mining ventures and people mining more, very fascinating how all this stuff just kind of pops up after Bitcoin pops above the $10,000 price. I've seen, what was the other one? It was talking about like this community getting like hydroelectric power, and they were building their own mining farm factory in this town, and this guy was he had a wall of miners, and he was talking about, I think they produce more electricity than like I think 300 houses. It was very, very odd, very fascinating, but interesting that all of this stuff is once again popping up as the prices across the cryptocurrency space have been rising quite dramatically. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, My Keto Kitchen, Adobo, Crypto and Beer Shipmate, Brady Niels, L. Doug, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, Crypto Joe, Mohair Maroney, Carl Birchenoff, singer-songwriter Mike Savitz, Rai Ra, Yasha Harari, Amy Starsheen, Jeffrey Ramsey, Clara T. Snowden, Crypto Artist Cold 3D, Nicholas One Earth One Piece One Love, Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich the Third, RF Dusty, Cody, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Tom and Sam are losers, Jeremy the Photographer, Jim Gardner, Minting Coins, Arthur Yaku, Nick Manjalavori, Anthony Charles, and me, Cat Nick. Thank you, everyone, all of you, for your support. At the moment, market's doing pretty okay. Bitcoin dropped by, I don't even know the exact number. I couldn't give you the number in its totality. We went over $11,000 yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. I remember getting a lot of messages. I think we hit $11,100. Analysts were saying that they were expecting a bit of a pullback, as they didn't expect it to hit 11,000 so quick. So this is apparently the pullback. Before I started the video, I think Bitcoin was down around 4%, 3.9 or something like that. So it appears that it is slowly, maybe potentially inching its way back up. A lot of the other altcoins didn't receive as much of a beating as Bitcoin's price was going down. Ether is still up, XRP is still up, and EOS is also still in the green. A lot of the coins as well are also doing pretty well Satoshi value-wise. You can see even Cardano's up by 9.34%, Tron 8.36, what have you, so on and so forth. There's no real pattern to anything right now. I think it's a mixed bit of disbelief, euphoria, future hope, and just this idea that because we have passed by the $10,000 mark, that this is across the board, that we are apparently, according to analysts, in a now confirmed bull market. This is what people are saying. I thought we were in a bull market when Bitcoin had gone up by 100% in about 18 days, but maybe that was just me. Anyway, yeah, so like I said, there's no real pattern. Nothing is, rather, Bitcoin's not shooting up and every coin isn't going up. I think every coin is just kind of in this really weird moment. Cardano is very close to 10 cents. Tron is up 6%. Neo is up by almost 16% as well. There's been no cataclysmic news that should have led to a price increase like this. Ontology is also up by 7%. Yeah, because why not? Dogecoin is also up by 6. Quantum is up by 6.7. OMG is up by 4. So the main number seems to be anywhere between 0 to 5%, that most of the coins are kind of up right now. Yeah. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. I assume this is going to be a very interesting week as far as, will Bitcoin continue to go up? Are we going to have more retractments, retracements? Will we swing over 11,000? Will we end up, I think the number I saw quoted by someone online is that Bitcoin has to go above, I think it was 11,600. But apparently that's the next major resistance. There's resistance all the time. That word is going to continue forever. At least we're finally over the value where I have said I mean, all the stuff that's been going on, it should have been eons ago that Bitcoin, well, not eons, in a couple of months, that Bitcoin was over 10,000. Let's see if we can hit that 15,000. I would like 15,000 by the end of, when is, I'll say middle of August. I won't say the middle of July. That might be a bit too quick. Let's say the middle of August. Nice to have a $15,000 Bitcoin. Thank you all once again for watching and listening. And I will definitely talk to you all soon. See you.